Welcome back. We are talking to Gwen Frisbie-Fulton of the Interactive Resource Center here in Guilford County. And Gwen, if you could tell us now, we've been talking about the organization itself, but can you describe the many faces of homelessness in Guilford County?
Yeah, thank you for asking. Homelessness, you'll notice at the IRC, we say people experiencing homelessness. Mm-hmm. We will never say the homeless. Homelessness can happen to anybody, and when you talk to the people who come through our doors, you quickly realize that. Mm-hmm. We say people experiencing homelessness because we understand that it is just one piece of many experiences of their lives. We never want to degrade somebody by defining them solely by this one moment and this one experience that they're going through.
Absolutely.
So we see people from all walks of life. We currently, in our emergency shelter, have an oboist staying with us. Mm-hmm. He was a professional oboist in orchestras for many, many years. He has mental health issues and was living with his mother, who recently passed away. When his mother passed away, the family home was lost, and he was now living out of his car. He's a fantastic individual. He's kind, he's glowing, and he'll play the oboe for us.
Okay.
And that is one person who has just slipped through the cracks because of hardship in his own family.
Okay.
People who are experiencing homelessness are full, rounded, whole individuals. They have likes and dislikes just like any of us. They have talents. They've made mistakes. They haven't made mistakes. The difference is we all make the same mistakes, and in any population you find that. It depends on what safety net you come from and what family background you come from as to how easy it is to get up after your mistakes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So now, for someone who has information about the Interactive Resource Center, mm-hmm. and they come through the door, what can they expect as soon as they walk through the door?
Sure. When you walk through the door, you'll see Miss Jane's face.
Okay.
We have lovely Miss Jane, who's been with us ever since we started, who will greet you at the door, and you can sign in for services there. The Interactive Resource Center is built loosely off of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Mm-hmm. At the base of our services are fundamental services. We all know that people need to be secure. We provide, therefore, showers, coffee, laundry, the barber services and mail services, just to give people a base off of which to work. Okay. Everybody who comes in gets if they don't have a phone, they can get a unique phone number, mm-hmm. so that they have a place when they apply for jobs, when they apply for housing, when they try to reach family and friends, that they can be reachable. Everybody has access to our mail room. Over 90% of housing applications and job applications in Greensboro require that you put down your current address. If you don't have one, you're immediately out of the running for those positions or those apartments. So you can use the Interactive Resources Center's address as your place to receive mail. The second tier of our services are those stabilizing services, medical services, our computer lab for looking for job help, mm-hmm. our jobs programming. Mm-hmm. Then we have our enhancement services, our arts programs, our recent partnership with GTCC to offer classes on site at the Interactive Resource Center. We weave these closely together to create a whole person approach, mm-hmm. so that if somebody lands a job, they can also be getting the medical services they might need in order to be able to maintain that job. Okay. And they can be working with our case managers to secure housing at the same time.
All right, so with all the services that the Interactive Resource Center offers, mm-hmm. what would you suggest as the first area to start?
I think people need to come in and join in community.
Okay.
And people do that in all kinds of different ways. Mm-hmm. Maybe they join our arts cooperative, Artifacts, to start working with their peers on creating art. Maybe they start serving in our garden, pulling weeds or watering, mm-hmm. or helping us design what we're going to plant this year. Mm-hmm. I think the magic that happens at the Interactive Resource Center is the friendships that are built and the community that is built. We insist on giving every single person who walks through our doors reverence and respect, mm-hmm. and joining them into our community. And then they can access the services from there.
Yeah, and this gives everyone a sense of belonging.
Absolutely.
It does. So now, when someone comes to the Interactive Resource Center and they just say, you know what, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know where I want to go. How do you get them started? How do you get them on a path to correct where they are?
Thanks for asking that. One of the things that I see happen every day at the IRC is when somebody maybe is newly homeless, come in, we welcome them.
Yes.
We don't start making a game plan right then about how everything's going to work out. First, you just need to give somebody a space to be. When we opened the shelter a few weeks ago, a woman that we'd never met before came in. It's cold outside. Literally, her hands are so cold, she's having trouble signing her name to sign in with us. And you can see that she's been crying. We were so busy at the time, I sort of made a mental note, I'm going to check on her when we calm down. We assigned her a cot, and she went back into our shelter area to get situated. About an hour, hour and a half later, she came back up to our desk, and she was holding a yellow rose. One of our other guests who was staying for the night had found a rose and given it to her, and they'd been talking to her and comforting her for the last hour and a half that I was busy. She was holding a yellow rose, and she handed us $5. And she said, "Thank you. I'm in the right place at the right time tonight."
That's awesome.
In that situation, it wasn't a program. It wasn't anything we could have designed. What happened was our community that we've given a home base to welcomed her in and stabilized her. The next morning, we could hit the ground running, find out what her situation was, and figure out where to house her.
Very good. That is an awesome, awesome story. So now I'm trying to get a feel of the layout, though, of the building.
Sure.
So when you walk in, there's a receptionist.
Correct.
Okay.
And it's in a large day room. We have a large sort of sun-drenched, huge window day room where there's just a mismatched assortment of collected chairs and tables that we have found all over the place.
Okay.
You'll see art on the walls made by our guests. You'll see a large portrait of our founding director, Liz Seymour. And then in the day room, towards the back, you'll see our showers and laundry and barbershop facilities. You sign in at the front desk if you need any of those services. You'll see our nurses coming in and out and calling names for the next appointment that they have. There's a long hallway that heads down to our jobs area where we have a huge computer lab and a couple classrooms that we now use for our GTCC classes that are offered. And we have a large warehouse. And out of our warehouse, you'll see bicycles being repaired. You'll see a large cooler that's run by Share the Harvest, where they take in garden produce and redistribute it back out. And you'll see people bustling back and forth, bringing in donations, bringing in art supplies for our art corner. It's a very open format, and it's very free-flowing.
Okay, all right. So now, is the weather impacting your services or impacting the population that you're seeing? Because it's cold here in Greensboro.
It's cold, and it's unusually cold this winter. Weather always affects people who don't have a place to call home.
Okay.
How could it not? Our laundry facilities run around the clock, drying people's blankets, washing people's clothes. That is a result of the recent rain that we've had. We have also turned into a 24-hour crisis center this winter. That is outside of our mission and outside of what we're used to doing. We knew that this was going to be a cold winter, and we knew there was a large population that was unsheltered. Because of our staff's personal roots and personal connection to homelessness and poverty, many of us remember and know what that's like.
Yes.
There was no way that we could feel correct in closing our doors at the end of the day and saying, "We'll see you in the morning," when we actually had fears that we might not see everybody in the morning.
Okay.
So as an act of conscience, our staff agreed by consensus that we were going to stay open anytime it dropped below 25 degrees. And we've been doing that. It's exhausting, and it's wearing us thin, but we know it's the right thing to do.
But we've had a lot of that. Temperatures below 25 degrees recently.
We have.
Consistently.
We have.
So now, if you're a day center, what are your normal hours, though?
Our normal hours are from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
That is a full staff work day, and we hit the ground running at 8 a.m. and are still running at 3 p.m.
Okay.
But now that we're opening as an emergency shelter, what we do is we close at our normal time. Many of our guests help us quickly make a shift, and we reopen at 7 o'clock all the way through the morning to operate as a night shelter.
Providing cots and places to sleep.
Correct.
And warm food?
Food on occasion. We do not duplicate services, so if there's another wonderful organization, like our faith-based organizations in Greensboro, that provide meals, we don't step on their toes by any means because they're doing such a good job. But if the weather becomes so rough that our folks can't be walking to those locations, then we provide food.
Very good. Now, you've been talking about the other organizations partnering, GTCC, and we also were talking about, now it brings up the question for me, shelters and other organizations and nonprofits that are assisting the homeless in Guilford County. Right. How are you guys partnering here in Guilford County?
The IRC, we always say community works, and that's what we get to see every single day. Okay. It's one of the joys of our job to see how many people come together, whether it's individuals or a family, whether it's a local church, or whether it's a local nonprofit, to really make this work. So we have strong partnerships. On site, we have a partnership with Triad Adult and Pediatric Medicine that provides all of our mental health care and medical services. We have partnerships with Bicycling in Greensboro, Share the Harvest, GTCC, and so many other organizations that come to our location so we can provide a one-stop shop for folks experiencing homelessness, where they can come and they know that all of their needs can be met in one location.
This is awesome. This is really an awesome program here in Guilford County, assisting the homeless population. And with the numbers and the information that you've given us, this has been really good information. But now, I'm really curious if you can expound on a little bit the program and the partnership with GTCC.
Sure, that's a new partnership that we're incredibly proud of.
Okay.
About a year ago, GTCC started offering GED classes on our location.
Yes.
And we found that our guests were much more able to successfully complete that program if we offered it at the IRC.
Okay.
We have a jobs program, and it's very successful. However, we are not satisfied if people are landing jobs that do not pay them enough to no longer be homeless.
Yes.
GTCC has come in, and we are expanding our programs to make sure that everybody who lands a job through the IRC is landing a living wage job that will actually move them out of homelessness.
This is an awesome program. So Gwen, if someone wants to get in touch with you or the Interactive Resource Center, how can they do that?
Sure. Well, we would always suggest that you follow us on both Facebook and Twitter, because we are very active and keep everything up to date on those mediums.
Social media.
Absolutely. And our guests use social media, so it's a wonderful way for us to communicate with people who are homeless.
Okay.
We also, you can visit us on our website to learn more about our programs and how to get involved, and that's www.gsodaycenter.org. And you can always give us a call at 336-253-4649.
And that information actually is on the screen right now for our viewers. If you could just take just one moment, and I'm not going to ask for specific success story, but just quickly, have you seen many successes with the program?
We see incredible successes. We couldn't do this work if we didn't see the incredible successes that come through. I think often of a gentleman who is now a dear friend of mine and my son's. He moved to Greensboro from northern Michigan to get a job in the furniture market. By the time he got down here, that job didn't exist anymore. And he became homeless for the first time in his life at 55. He was the man that you saw on the side of the road with a flyer. He started coming to the IRC and was able to land a job, do beautiful art, and now he comes back and volunteers for us and brings us coffee every time we open as an emergency shelter.
Very good. Gwen, thank you so very much. It has been a pleasure to have you on today.